so they thought they could take time away from us. No! Never! Not today, especially on Super Bowl recap week. Here we go. Going in right now. Yes! All right.
Welcome to Place Your Bet, everybody. Tommy T with my buddy Sal The Bookmaker, Mr. 92%. Today's show is brought to you by Legal Shield, providing legal protection and peace of mind for less than $1 a day.
Let me get my headphones.
Legal Shield can help with traffic tickets, texting and driving, DUIs, court appearances, estate planning, and even contracts given to you that you just don't understand. Plus a whole lot more. Call Legal Shield right now at 213-245-1305. That's 213-245-1305. Again, 213-245-1305, or visit them online at nocourt.us.
Yes! Look at this.
What is it, the king of spades?
Hey.
So, not the ace of spades.
Don't worry about that.
Sal's got the king of spades on. Okay, so I didn't think the game was that bad.
I didn't think it was bad at all.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Everybody's complaining about it. They're out of their minds. There's that game.
You know, I get it. I mean, if you're not from New England, chances are you don't like New England winning. I get it. I understand. If you're not in those like 6 or 7 states up in the northern part of the country, you don't want. Who wants the Patriots winning their 6th game in such a lackluster game? But
I wanted them to win because of the way the Rams game ended. Yes. I had every reason to root for New England. And let's face it, what we had was what? We had Bill Belichick take the blueprint of the Chicago Bears game against the Rams. And what happened? He duplicated the game. He doubled Donald. He shut down the running game, forced Goff to beat him. And guess what happened? Goff lost. Plain and simple.
Oh, Goff looked terrible. Yeah, Goff looked just like he did in Chicago. You're right. Just like he did.
It is a carbon copy of that game. And you know what made all that happen? It was the Rams and Packer game. Because the Packers exposed the Rams where they were weak. And remember, the Packers ended up losing the game, but they lost in the last second, as you may recall. Right.
I remember that game. They were in the game. Yeah, that was a closer game than the Rams wanted. No, you're right. The Rams were exposed on a few fronts. Actually, the Detroit Lions played the Rams very tough during the year, and Belichick knows Patricia. Patricia was the former defensive coordinator. He copied a lot of Patricia's principles for this game, too. But I think it's kind of funny, though, that McVay is the wonder boy. Right? And all of his guys, I mean, Arizona hired sort of the next McVay, Cliff Kingsbury. The Green Bay Packers hired that guy LeClaire. So everyone's got these young offensive coordinators as their head coaches. Zach Taylor from the Rams went to Cincinnati, and Belichick, 66 years old, just pulled his pants down and slapped his fanny in front of the whole world.
That's right. He slapped his ass with a big old paddle. He just went whack,
66, whack. 66 years old, and Belichick. Don't mess with Belichick.
Hey, man, that guy knows how to do what? He knows how to manage a team. And it doesn't matter who the players are. And this is a testament to the Patriots. Because over the last 18 years, how many names have turned over in the roster? Many, many, many names, except, of course, the quarterback for the most part, right? But you look at all the other players and what happened. You did not have the turnover. Those guys are plug and play. It doesn't matter who you put in there. He'll take a problem child, turn him into a star. He'll take a star and turn him into a team player. And that's what I like about him.
That's so well put. A problem star, a problem child, turn him into a star. Take a star and turn him. That's going to go right up there with you throwing compliments around like manhole covers. That's up
look
there.
Out, kid. Look out below.
No, that goes up there. That's very well put. It's amazing. Cordero Patterson, the kick returner for the Vikings, who was a high draft choice for the Vikings. Norv Turner couldn't use him. Zimmer couldn't use him. He went to the Raiders for a year. Of course, they didn't know how to use him. Belichick yesterday had him return the opening kickoff for 35 yards. He ran the ball. He caught passes. He had him doing everything. Cordero Patterson was a non-entity in the NFL for years.
Right.
I mean, Belichick just knows what to do with him.
He knows what to do and what it was. Look, people say, it was a boring game. No, it wasn't. It was a team win. And if there was an MVP to be handed out, it probably should have went to Hightower.
I agree. Hightower or Stephon Gilmore.
Right. One of those
Gilmore
guys.
played. They both played great.
I think Hightower spent a lot of time in the backfield.
I think, well, he did. I mean, he dominated that game, just like he won the game in Atlanta, sacking Matt Ryan in the fourth quarter. You know what the problem is that it was supposed to be the year of the offense this year. We set all kinds of records with offense, and I think that the voters just felt like they had to pick an offensive player. Yeah, granted, Edelman had 10 catches, 100 whatever yards. He had a good game. They forced the MVP on him. They said, we have to pick an offensive player. That was not an offensive player's game.
No.
That was a defensive player's game.
No, I tell you what, if anything, they should have gave the MVP to Belichick for managing a masterful game. How about a big round of applause for that?
Absolutely.
And I don't really say applaud Belichick, but I got to tell you, in this case, it was Grandpa sitting on a rocking chair on the front porch telling his grandson a little story, bouncing McVay on his knee, saying, let me tell you, this is how the story's going to go. And by the way, folks, everybody who goes to the Place Your Bet website and signs up for a subscription or whatnot, if you follow this show, well, guess what? I didn't say on Friday that I wasn't necessarily going to give something away. I said, make sure you keep an eye on it. So what did I do on Sunday about 2 hours before the game? About 2 hours before the game, I changed our background picture to an old school picture of the Stardust and some other signs, whatever. And I put the pick of New England minus 2.5 and under 57 in the old beat up station wagon, right on the Bondo part on the rear quarter panel. And sure enough, it was out there. It's all time stamped. I gave the game away. It was ridiculous. And I even called a low scoring game. I had a low scoring game. I was talking to my brother about this. I said, I don't see that game even being 26-13. And he goes, you're out of your mind. They're going to score 80 points in the game. I said, no, they're not. I said, it's going to be a really low-scoring game. I said, watch and see. You may even see a shutout. Of course, he told me I was on crack. But then again, how close were we to that shutout?
Dude, you were right on it. And listen, we didn't talk, but we both were together all week, the whole build-up to the game. We knew what was going to happen. I had my buddy from the casino hit me up at 12:43 p.m. He said, Tommy, who is going to win the Super Bowl? I need a Tommy T pick. I texted him back. Like he texted me at 12:43. I texted back at 12:46. Pats by at least 10. I said it's supposed to be a close game, but Goff could play tight, and Brady can hurt you if you keep Aaron Donald and Dante Fowler off him. Pats can run the ball as well. And my last note, I'm not sure Gurley is 100%. I don't believe what they are saying because he only touched the ball 7 times last game. That's way too low for the best running back in the league.
Give yourself a round of applause. Excellent.
Basically, and here's the thing, something you taught me just hanging out. We were looking at the sports book last week after a bowling. Don't overthink it. We didn't overthink it this week. Everyone asked me, who do you like? Who do you like? I like the Pats.
That's right.
I like the Pats. It's not a big thought process here.
Well, I purposely told everybody I think the Rams were going to win 31-27, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't do that because if I would have gave that out on Friday, number one, I would have been fooling myself because I already knew where I was going with it. How in the world can anybody take the Rams against the best player in the history of the game at this point, and the best coach
in the history
of the game.
Yes.
How do you bet against it? Only a moron bets against it. But that's why I posted it on the Place Your Bet Facebook page. All you had to do, if you're an avid follower of the show, all you had to do was check and see, hey, wow, they changed there's a new picture. Hey, that's cool. Let's open the picture. Oh, wow, look, it's like an Easter egg hunt.
That's so fantastic.
And you would have had, go ahead, folks, pull it up, go to Place Your Bet on Facebook, open up our page, and then go ahead and check out the picture. Tommy, can you pull it up?
I got it. I'm looking at it right now. The picture, the background picture here.
Yeah. Now open the picture itself.
Okay.
What do you see? Look at the station wagon.
Like the picture on the home page, like the big strip.
No. On the Facebook page.
On the Facebook page.
Yeah. Pull it up on your phone.
Okay. Yeah. The Facebook page.
I want you to check this out.
Okay. Okay, you know what the funny thing is? On the Rams, the only person on the Rams that was in the league of Belichick and Brady is the guy that kept the Rams in the game. Was Wade Phillips.
Yeah, Phillips.
He's the only guy that's in their league.
Phillips did a masterful job on defense, and look, he held the Patriots to 13 points.
Yeah, an unbelievable job, and he gave up those. Finally, they were exhausted when they gave up their runs at the end. They gave up their runs The long 26-yard runs.
Click on the photo.
Okay, here we go. The station wagon.
They're looking at the station wagon. Open it up, and what does it say?
Minus 2.5, under 57 on the faded. Oh, that's fantastic.
What's the timestamp on that?
Let me see. The timestamp on the picture.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Take a look at that. For all those people that think that I'm full of crap, I don't think so.
Yesterday at 12:41 p.m., almost the exact same time I was sending off.
There it is. I know, that's weird.
Time, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, that's excellent stuff, man. 12:41 yesterday. That's fantastic.
Yes.
Okay, it's there.
And I go to 50-4.
They're on our Facebook
50
page.
wins and 4 losses. That's crazy.
Listen, that's a great way to finish out the NFL season.
That's insane.
I mean, there were a few college basketball wins. There was
I'm
a couple
glad you and I
hockey
had
wins.
the same pick, though.
No, we had and what we were talking about this, we didn't get fancy with this.
And the thing is, we didn't even talk about which way we were going on it either.
I know.
We were just thinking alike. You know why? Because you weren't overthinking it.
Overthinking. And the other thing is, so now I get all these texts, and at the casino today, like it was all passed around, and everyone's like, "We need your picks, and I'm like, listen, the website's open, subscribe, just subscribe, and you get them. The game was easy. Gurley's not healthy. And the other thing is, the Rams, it
didn't matter whether it was healthy or not. The fact is, the Patriots were going to stuff the running game anyway. The goal was to double Donald or triple if needed, and to shut down the running game, stack the box.
But shouldn't the Rams get in some kind of trouble for lying about Gurley's injury? Because in the NFL,
no, why would they?
In the NFL, there's supposed to be full disclosure. Everything's got to be
unlike
open
in hockey, that's an upper body injury or something.
But in the NFL, you're supposed to say who's hurt and who's not hurt. They kept saying he's not hurt. You can't tell me that the number one running back in the league is only going to get the ball 7 to 10 times.
Right, but they're probably going to say, well, he wasn't hurt, but we had a plan to work with Anderson and him.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? That plan failed miserably. You know why? Because Belichick knew all he had to do was stop the run. That's it.
Yeah.
Because, hey, look, I'm not going to let Gurley beat me. I'm not going to let the best back in the league beat me. I'm going to let a quarterback that's young and green behind the ears, I'm going to let him try to beat me.
He regressed back to his Jeff Fisher days. Yeah.
He was thrown off his back foot. He looked terrible.
Terrible. That was.
And I was applauding every time he threw off his back foot. I was laughing and applauding.
That was the worst QB performance in a Super Bowl since Rex Grossman's.
Train wrecks, Grossman.
Rex had a horrible game against the Colts that day.
Yeah, it was awful.
And this Goff had a terrible game. I mean, that one pass in the back of the end zone to Brandon Cooks when the McCourty came all the way across the field and knocked it out of his hands in the middle of the end zone. That pass took forever. He threw him a changeup.
Yeah.
That was a horrible pass.
Yeah, there was no velocity on that whatsoever.
I mean, was Goff hurt too? He couldn't get the ball down the field.
I think his feelings were hurt.
His feelings were hurt, yes. He was afraid. Yeah. The other thing I don't get in the NFL is this. The game's 3 hours long. I know the Super Bowl's a little longer, but they cut to these guys when the offense is on the bench and the defense is on the field. They cut to the offense, and they're all just sitting on the bench. I mean, listen, I understand you have to go get together with your coaches and you have to go over stuff, but Goff was just sitting isolated on the bench like he was throwing a no-hitter or something. No one was around him. No one was talking to him. He wasn't on the field. He wasn't on the sidelines involved in the game. He wasn't spurring on his teammates. I don't understand that kind of mentality.
Well, okay, I'll tell you. I'll spell it for you real quick. The fact is, the Rams don't have the chemistry that Belichick entices and instills. Yes. That's what I'm looking for. Instills with that club. Everybody works together on the Patriots, and you have a bunch of individuals on the Rams, and that's exactly why he was sitting by himself.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I've watched Brady on the sidelines. He's up on the sidelines yelling. I watched Dak Prescott.
And even if he's
sitting down.
Even if he's sitting down, he's not sitting by himself. He normally has somebody near him.
Yeah, he's talking with McDaniels, first of all. But I swear to God, Goff looked disengaged.
Oh, yeah.
He looked disengaged.
Yeah, he looked like the wind was let out of his sails. Anyway, is not let out of our sails here at Place Your Bet, because guess what? If you would have went to the Place Your Bet page on Facebook, you would have won some money because you would have bet it. And guess what? All those people that did, good for you. Back in just a few minutes here on Place Your Bet. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, so it's moved up a couple minutes instead of 8:20.
Don't worry about it. Let it go through its cycle. We'll figure it out of the back end.
So I'm just gonna run it like normal, right?
Don't let let it do its thing.
Okay.
I'll talk to him about the extra minute thing.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll take care of that. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
awesome that you put that in there. I love that. First of all, the picture itself is just a home run. It's just awesome.
Well, there's a reason I put that picture. I have an attachment to that photo.
Okay, so
I used that particular one. I mean, who's going to look at an old beat up station wagon in the first place? So if you pay attention,
New England minus 2.5. That's great. So you do have an Easter egg hunt now for our picks, which is
when you're fucking 50-4, you could do that. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Folks, it's no accident. Look, this has gone on for months. It just keeps being what it is. It's stupid.
It's stupid.
50. What's 4 divided by 50? Get your calculator out.
4 divided by 50?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Wait. I'm sorry. What is 50 divided by 54?
Well,
so you'll get the percentage.
Yeah, it's
50 by 54.
So 54 goes into 500.
Just pull
it's gonna go 9 times.
Yeah, I know that, but get I got it. 50 divided by 54.
50 divided by 54 equals 92.5%, 92.6%.
There it is, folks.
So you're technically at 93%.
That's ridiculous.
Because it's 5.9, so you're 93%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go on a losing streak of 10, 20 in a row. You never know.
Well, we said the guy...
Anything can happen. Didn't we say that when it was like...
Well, who was the 15? Guy that we looked up? I looked up some other pickers on...
oh, yeah, it was 23 and 5. 23 and 5, yeah.
And I said that he could win... He can win his next 25 games in a row. He still wouldn't be. He would be 48-5.
I know. It's ridiculous. These stupid things fell.
He still wouldn't have your record.
I know.
You were 48-4. So he could have been. He's 28. He was 23-5. He could have won his next 25. He would have been 48-5. He still would have had a better record.
That's unbelievable.
He's not going to win his next 25.
Well, hey, you never know. I mean,
no, he's not going to win.
I haven't had a loss for 20 games thereabouts.
Yeah, no.
20 picks.
You haven't, and you're on a Joe DiMaggio streak.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. Okay, we got
that's fine.
We got your circus promo.
All right. Here's my promo.
Oh no, let
them listen.
Show that you've heard all day long. The Sports Circus covers everything that other shows don't or are too scared to cover. There's no primetime show like it on air that'll punch you in the mouth, and you'll beg for more. Also, you could call in and participate with our chaos if you dare. Join me and celebrity guests for Havoc and Mayhem weekdays at 5 p.m. here on KSHP 1400. Remember, folks, it's a circus, and we prove it every day.
I had to kill the audio because of Viva Las Vegas is playing. The fresh shot. Viva Las Vegas. Here we go.
Welcome back to Place Your Bet, everybody! Sal and Tommy T. 2-0 Super Bowl Sunday. This segment is brought to you by the American Business Trust Company, helping your company with business strategy, sales and marketing, capital resources, and establishing your company with a physical location or on the internet. You decide, Sal. You bring the idea, and the American
Business Trust Company can help with the rest. Visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com. Or call 657-600-1876. That's the American Business Trust Company. 657-600-1876. Call them today. They can help your business right away.
Yes!
You know, Super Bowl Sunday should be followed by Bankroll Monday.
That's great. Bankroll Monday, right?
Right?
Right? If you play your cards right. Right. So a couple people had Julian Edelman as the MVP on the prop bets. I think he had it at was it 25-1? A couple guys I know at the casino, so they were happy about that. And I thought that was a risky pick, but the way Edelman played in the last couple postseason games, it wasn't a reach. It was not a reach for him to be picked as an MVP. He's been hot. The last couple postseasons, he's been red hot. Yeah. So he comes through in the clutch. Little, Wes Welker, another Wes Welker, Danny Amendola. They keep getting these little guys.
It doesn't matter who it is.
Doesn't matter who it is. They just keep putting guys in there. After the game, Belichick was on the show with Steve Young and Randy Moss, And Randy Moss played a couple years with New England, and Randy Moss is like, Coach, I love you. Coach, I love you. Everybody respects him. That's one of the things that I wanted to talk about is the humility of the Patriots organization. It's corny and people just gloss over it. But when they interview Robert Kraft, Michael Strahan interviewed Robert Kraft a couple days before the game, and Kraft says, listen, we won all these championships, but the credit goes to the coaching staff and the players, not the ownership group, the coaching staff and the players. When they interview Belichick, he never takes an ounce of credit. He says that all the players, it's all the preparation. And then, of course, when Brady gets up there, he talks about the team. This, right. Again, it sounds corny and it's glossed over.
It's not corny.
This is a real team.
No, these guys.
And they have humility.
Right. They have that, but they also understand the team concept. They buy into the team concept. And everybody was saying, it was a boring game, blah, blah, blah. And guess what? The bottom line is they won. It doesn't matter how they won. They won. I mean, they didn't cheat, but they won fair and square, and it was a team win. It wasn't a one-player win. Nobody cares if it was Brady getting an MVP or Amendola or this guy or that guy or Wes Welker back in the day.
Nobody cares.
None of it matters. Yep. The fact is they hoist the trophy, and that's all that matters, right?
Yep.
And that's why the culture on the team is a winning culture.
Ridiculous winning culture. It's funny. The first miniature slot receiver that made it big for New England was Troy Brown. Right. And there was a playoff game leading up to their first championship. Troy Brown scored a touchdown on a punt return, a blocked kick return, and a pass reception. It was all over the field when he played for the Patriots. He was the first Edelman. It went Troy Brown, it went Welker, it went Amendola, and it goes to Edelman. These guys.
Who's next?
You're right. Who is next?
I mean, Brady's going to play for a couple more years. Yep. So who else do we plug and play? We already know they got a good running game.
They do have.
And I'm going to tell you something about that running game. Here's the one thing I didn't share with everybody last week. And this is one of the things that I was really looking at. You had a guy by the name of Gurley on one side, University of Georgia graduate, right? Then you had another guy a few years later that come out, a University of Georgia graduate, Sony Michel.
Yep.
So now, don't you think that there was an extra little something that Michelle had to prove to all those people? Because let's face it, Todd Gurley, the best back in the league, was ahead of him at Georgia. And now you got Sony Michel saying, hey, man, I'm not taking a backseat to nobody. So this was a showcase of the University of Georgia then versus now kind of idea. And remember, Sony Michel played on that field last year and lost the national championship game.
Point.
And that guy knows what it's like to lose a big game in the biggest stage in that arena in that particular stadium.
And they lost that game in overtime to Alabama. That was a national championship game last year. And it's funny. Sony Michel was a first-round draft choice this year by New England.
Right.
But he was actually their second first-round draft choice. Their first pick was Isaiah Wynn,
right.
Also an offensive lineman from Georgia, who they were supposed to plug into their line, but he got injured early on in camp. So what do? They trade for Trent Brown, a sixth-round pick for Trent Brown, the left tackle, 6'8", 380 pounds. He completely changed that offensive line.
He's like JoJo the Whale. You walk among him.
The guy dominated the entire season. And everyone's going, how the hell did they get this guy for nothing? Because San Francisco drafted Matt McGlinchey, the left tackle from Notre Dame. I guess Trent Brown became expendable. How does a guy like that become expendable? He's 6'8", 380, and he can move. So New England's getting Isaiah Wynn back. And first thing I talked to my father today. My father hates Boston. Of course, he's a Yankee guy. I get it.
Yeah.
He hates it. And I said, listen, I hate to say this, but
they're
gonna win next year. I hate to say this, but they're gonna be right in it next year. They're a young team. They're gonna be in it next year.
Well, what made me laugh is when I saw the odds that came out as Kansas City being 6-1. I started laughing, saying, "Okay, all right, folks, you want to have some fun with this? Hold on, get my mic for a second." Okay, all right, sorry about that. All right, so here you want to have a little fun with this. You take 5 of the top picks, and I'm talking about the Patriots. You're taking the Chiefs, they're the leaders at 6-1, right? For the
Saints, the Rams,
right? Rams. Okay, the Patriots. The Bears are 14.
The Bears are up there. The Chargers are up there.
Who's in between that group of 4? There's one I'm missing in there.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm saying. You take the top 5, and chances are one of the top 5 are likely going to win. So you put $1 on each one of them, put $10 on each one of them. Guess what? Chances are one of those top 5 teams are going to win a Super Bowl. You've got yourself an automatic winner for next season. If you could just do away with the money and put it onto your mind, let's say you put $10 in each one of them. So maybe that's $50. You just put aside, put $10, $10, $10, $10. And in the worst case scenario, or actually you can actually do it with the top 6. In the worst case scenario, what do you end up with? You end up with Kansas City at being 6-1, right? So you basically get a push, minus the $6 in juice, whatever the hell it is.
Right.
But guess what? It goes up from there. So if anybody but Kansas City wins, you win money. I mean, that's just basic math.
That's what some of those guys like Phil Mickelson and Floyd Mayweather do. At the beginning of the year, they're putting $500,000 on a handful of teams.
That's it.
And that's why when you hear at the end of the year, whether it's basketball or baseball, whatever, you hear that there's a team in the World Series, and then it'll come out, Mickelson bet $500,000 on this team at the beginning of the year, and Mickelson looks like a genius, but people don't say...
he blanketed the board.
Yeah, he bets the whole board. Yeah, and they didn't say that.
Well, all they did was he bet until you get back diminishing returns off your bet.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely, yes.
And it's a smart thing to do. Why wouldn't you do it? This is a perfect time to do it. The day after the Super Bowl, go get your top 6. Go bet the same amount on all 6 of them. And guess what? And even if you have to, maybe bet a little bit less on the bottom 2 so you can offset the balance difference.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because...
And now you're not going to be out anything if those teams win. And chances are you're not going to see a long shot in there anyway, because the teams that are there already are going to be there again next year. You're going to see New Orleans. You're going to see Kansas City. You're going to see, like it or not, New England. You're going to see the Rams. And you may, in an outside shot, you may get a 14. You never know.
Well, are we going to see the Rams? Are Rams going to have slippage?
It doesn't matter whether they have that or not. I'm just thinking about the total math picture.
I know that, but are they?
I don't think the Rams are going to be there.
Yeah, are they going to keep Sue? Are they keep Fowler?
They're going to keep Fowler. They're not going to keep Sue.
Yeah, they're not going to keep Sue. And then their cornerbacks didn't play well. I love it, though. The referees got off to a bad start in this game. The first penalty they called was on Nickel Roby-Coleman because they couldn't call the penalty on him last game. I mean, ironically, or as planned, he face-planted somebody, and they called the penalty on him, but the referee got it wrong and said a personal foul, number 56. Showed the replay, number 56 wasn't even involved in the play.
Not even an area code.
It's like, oh my goodness, the referees, they couldn't. I mean, the one game that you wanted to get the first penalty right, and he says it wrong. Like
How about the first pass was an interception, though?
Yeah, well, the first pass of the game for Brady, because they disguised it that he thought it was a man-to-man, and he pulled that zone out, and that was Nickel Roby-Coleman.
I got to tell you, that was a great plan by Phillips. He did a really good job. Give Wade a big round of applause.
Yeah, well,
he did a fantastic job. I mean, holding that offense to 13 points is remarkable.
Yeah, Brady had a hard time. I mean, Brady admittedly had a hard time. It was
disguised very well.
Yeah, and that's why Wade Phillips is the best in the business, and that's why you could be 66 or 65 years old in the NFL, and you could still be a good coach, provided that you keep your game sharp, just like anybody else.
Right.
The other thing is, I guess Belichick played McVay earlier in the year. I guess he was texting him after the first 4 or 5 games saying, I'm really impressed with your offensive concepts. I've been watching you. So
what does that tell you?
So he was playing
all the way to the Super Bowl. Now, why would he be only texting him? What does that tell you?
Well, again,
from the beginning of the season, the fix was in.
But again, maybe he's texting more guys. Maybe he's not. This isn't the only coach that he's texting. This just made good for the story. But the other thing is, does he text this guy all year long and say,
this guy's in his head?
That's what I'm
week
saying.
1.
Wow. Those offensive concepts are amazing. I love what you're doing with your screen passes. I love what you're doing with the drags across the middle. And then you get him in the final game and you score nothing in the first half. You score 3 points. I mean, talk about being played. One of my all-time favorite movies was The Cincinnati Kid, starring Steve McQueen and Edward G. Robinson, and it was about the young poker player. Steve McQueen was a young poker player. Edward G. was the old poker player, right? There was like a big poker tournament for the weekend, like 2 or 3 day tournament. Well, at night, Steve McQueen was out chasing women, and Edward G. Robinson was in the room resting, and he ended up taking all of McQueen's money. It's just the same. This is what Belichick did. He Cincinnati Kid, this McVay, he reached in his pocket and just took his money by complimenting this guy the entire year until he got him in the big game, and then he completely blanketed him. And did you see when they did a close-up on McVay in the fourth quarter with 3 minutes to go? He glossed over. He looked like he just found out that his wife was sleeping with his best friend.
He looked like someone just stole his ice cream cone.
He looked like a little kid.
Yeah, exactly.
For the longest time, he didn't blink. There was like this long camera hold on him, and He didn't blink. His eyes, he just didn't blink. I don't know what happened. He just was.
Well, you know
glazed.
what happened? He got played and played out at the same time.
He knew it.
Oh yeah, he met his match. That's a great. So I'm going to tell you that was very exciting. And look, whether it was the running game, whether it was the wide receiver game, the quarterback game, the defensive game, it didn't matter. Every aspect was dominated. Every aspect, and that is look. That 13-3 score does not dictate what really happened there. I got to tell you. That was essentially a shutout, and what I really wanted to see is I saw a prop bet for the field goals hitting the goalpost.
Yeah,
right. Of course, I'm thinking of Cody Parkey.
Well, Parkey wasn't in the game.
I know, but the very first field goal by Gostkowski just missed it.
The one he made,
it just missed it. Exactly.
You think he was aiming for it so someone could win money?
I don't know.
I guess Gostkowski was aiming for because normally he's
this
right
guy's
down the
automatic.
middle.
He's right down Broadway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's face it. Even what's his face is from the Rams. That was no chip shot either. He almost hit the goalpost.
Well, here's the other thing.
I think they had a bet on hitting the upright.
Listen, nothing surprises me anymore. Hey, listen, the best special teams player on the field was Matthew Slater, who's been there for years with New England. I mean, come on. I mean, this guy was downing the ball at the 1 yard line, the 3 yard line. New England just has these special teams players too. They're not getting rid of Matthew Slater. His father was Jackie Slater, the old offensive lineman for the Rams.
A lifer for the Rams.
Right.
Exactly.
He's got to watch his kid beat his team. I mean, this New England team just really they were hated obviously for years. They've been hated. They're really going to be hated now.
Well, look, I think everybody is pissed off about the Super Bowl not being exciting in their minds because they wanted a college game. They wanted 40 to 35 or some crap like that.
They wanted
the two old guys in there.
And as we see golf, now we're even more mad that game ended the way it did.
Exactly.
Football fans feel like they got cheated this year at the end of the year. They really do. Even if this game was good.
Tommy, they got a heavy dose of strategy. They got a 1-0 game in baseball is what they got. And it was about field position, flipping the field, and so forth. That was the entire game.
And nobody saw it coming.
Right. I don't know about nobody.
Well, we saw it. We saw it.
Yeah.
We said running game and low scoring. Yeah.
Both teams have to run the ball. And I love the fact that the Patriots ran at Donald when he was doubled. I love that.
The first play of the game, they ran right up the middle.
Yeah.
They weren't afraid of any of these guys. They went right up the middle. I mean, Donald had one pressure on the quarterback. He had the one.
Well, when he threw Brady down, that should have been a roughing the passer. They let him go on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he ragdolled him.
You could tell the referees swallowed their whistle for this game. They weren't.
Oh yeah.
They didn't want to call too much, right?
Oh, you know why? Because the Rams were there.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's so much Brady. I think it's because the Rams were there. Because we already saw what happened in the Rams game before that.
Yeah, football fans feel like they got cheated. Listen, I'm sorry.
Hey, do you feel you got cheated on the halftime show?
You know what? I didn't watch the halftime show. Who was it again? It was
Maroon 5, and then you had
and then
Big Boy,
Jay Deasy or Jay whatever, Bob's Big Boy. Yeah,
whatever. You had all that. You had the fur coat gang.
Now listen, for me, the Super Bowl is still a football game. I'm sorry. It's still a football game. Yes. You know, the girl was on tour. She was in Denver, so I couldn't make it to Denver to watch the game with her. When she's in town, it's a party, and and it's all about the commercials and all about the halftime show. But she wasn't there, so I just wanted to watch a football game. Yeah. Sorry, Nothing
wrong with that. Nothing to be sorry about. You know what? I didn't think the halftime show was that bad. Everybody was complaining about it. You know what it was? They were complaining because they thought the game was boring. So they said everything was boring. And that really wasn't the case. They actually did a pretty good job on stage. Well, and I don't
get it.
It was an enormous production, just like, for your girls thing. Well, it's a big production. This was a big production as well.
I went to the Elton John concert last week at Staples Center and a football game broke out. So I guess we're even.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
I mean, it's like, I don't know. I don't get it. Like, when I go see Maroon 5 or, when I go see a show over here on the Strip or whatever, I don't expect a game to break out in the middle of it. All of a sudden, we're watching a game and we got a show that breaks out. Whoop-de-damn-do. I don't even care. And the immortal words of Derek Coleman, I could care less. I'm still about the game.
That's right.
And again, I have to apologize because I guess it's not cool. But who gives a rat's behind about this halftime show?
About it. All I know is we saw the game that we thought we were going to see, and that's how it ended. I couldn't be happier. 13-3, Patriots, and guess what? That's number 6 for the greatest quarterback and coach that the game has ever seen. Back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. That's true. Like it or not, people.
So, you want to be in show business.
So, you want to be in show business. Alrighty. We got a thin crowd tonight on Facebook Live. That's okay. We still got to video it. Oh, hello. These stupid things keep falling off my head. All right, there we go. Jeez.
Okay, so LeBron's management company, which is headed by Rich Paul, I just realized it's called Clutch with a K.
Yeah.
Now listen, I got a couple things to say about that.
That's fine, man.
Let me get it out there.
Go ahead. Get it out there.
I'm sorry. All right, I got to just get it out there. And I love LeBron. I mean, I'm a LeBron fan.
I know you are. I'm not going to say nothing. Don't worry about it.
Okay, here we go. 45 seconds.
I know. I'm not going to say nothing.
Clutch.
That's funny. Hey, it's 62 in here. All right. Production studio. Cut your commercials here. Old school equipment, right? And there's our board right there. Legal sheets being played right now. Place your bet. Okay. Took him on tour. NoCourts.us. It's justice for all and not justice for some. Okay, here we go.
Okay, so
Jeez.
$25 million in commissions alone Clutch made.
Of course he does.
Number of clients, 12. Contract value under management, $625 million. Okay, so they're doing well.
Well, they're making money.
They're making money. They're doing a fine business. Okay, so I got some comments about this.
All right. All right, kill it. Okay, folks, welcome back to Place Your Bet. This segment is brought to you by Kelly Vegas, helping people just like you create and host your very own radio, TV, or multimedia talk show. Kelly Vegas can help you with everything you need to get out of sitting in hours of traffic every day and host your very own talk show in your very own studio. Call Kelly Vegas right now at 949-445-1119. That's 949-445-1119. Again, 949-445-1119. Or visit them at kellyvegas.com. That's CALI Vegas.com. And tell them Place Your Bet sent you. Also, a big welcome to everybody listening in on iHeartRADIO and KSHP 1400 right here in Las Vegas. And all those people watching on Facebook Live, make sure you go to placeyourbet.vegas. Check us out. Check out the characters, Tommy T, myself, Sal The Bookmaker, and Pile of Money. And by the way, the rolling record, the current record, is 50 wins against only 4 losses. That's right, 50-4. It's complete lunacy. This has been going on for a few months now. And look, it's not an accident. If Tommy, listen, man, if this would have happened for maybe 10 games or whatever, you know, people get on lucky streaks. You don't go on lucky streaks for months and months and months. It doesn't work that way.
There's no luck involved right now.
This is not about luck.
This is straight skill.
Right.
Straight cash, homie, as Randy Moss said.
That's all it is.
50-4 is 92.59%.
Straight
essentially 93%.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
But the good news is, look, all those people that have been betting at the same time, look, we don't book the bets. All we do is we give you information. Listen, it's up to you guys to book the bets.
If they bet $10 on every game,
here's a dose of reality for you, kids.
They'd be up with some good money, man.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, so switching gears just real quickly, the Anthony Davis saga continues. This is going to turn into a 3-part epic along the lines of Gone with the Wind.
So it's the trilogy of Anthony Davis.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. So the Lakers have made official trade proposals, and they've basically offered everybody.
They've emptied the cupboard.
Yeah, and listen, right now Brandon Ingram's playing fantastic basketball, and also Kuzma's pretty good, and they got Lonzo Ball in there. It's not the worst trade package you could get for this guy, and I don't think that along the way, I don't think New Orleans is going to get a better package. All of a sudden, Anthony Davis has come in with a list of teams that he wants to play for. The Milwaukee Bucks are on that list, kind of weird.
I think it's the Lakers and the Lakers.
He's got the Bucks, he's got the Knicks, he's got the Clippers on the list.
It's LeBron James, period.
So he doesn't have the Boston Celtics. His father came out and said, I want my kid playing for the Celtics. They're not on that list.
Right, just like your boy Ball says, I don't want my kid to go play in New Orleans. I want him to play in Phoenix.
And the guy's smart. Phoenix has DeAndre Ayton and they have that Devin Booker. That's the right place for that kid to go. He's smart.
Bunch of young kids there.
He'd be doing better than he's doing with the Lakers.
Maybe.
But so the Lakers have made an official offer to New Orleans. Now, New Orleans, everyone's pretty much gets a given that they're going to turn it down because New Orleans wants to play this out. I don't see how this plays out well for New Orleans. They're better off just getting rid of the guy. Just get rid of the bum.
I think they're probably just saying, you know what? You're not going to tell us what to do.
That's what they're doing. That's the wrong move. You know why? Because let him tell them what to do. He doesn't want to be there. He's not yours anymore. You don't want him. You know what? You don't want to be here? Get out of here. No one does that. Everyone tries to get the most, and
but the Benson family doesn't need the money. They don't care.
I know that.
But the problem
they're
is
not
the
going to
city
stop him.
The fans of basketball in New Orleans are going to suffer for this one.
That's what I'm saying. So basically what they're going to do is they're going to torture their fans for a year and a half.
Luther.
The Luth follows us.
Aren't you supposed to be working right now,
Loyal
mister?
Listener Luther. He's off tonight.
Oh, is he? Attaboy.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
So
Luther, call in and participate.
I think that I think what's happening is if they play hardball with this kid, right? Which I think is the wrong. Everyone does. Denver did it. Minnesota did it with their guy. They're always trying to. They're saying no.
Jimmy Butler was doing it again after he made the move to Philadelphia.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that these owners are saying you can't dictate to me who you go to. These owners should just say, you know what, you want to go here? Okay, you go there because it's not working out. None of these guys are winning wherever they go. I mean, Anthony Davis isn't going to go to Lakers and win.
They're just
let him go.
They're just being a bunch of crybabies.
And
this is exactly why I don't like the NBA because there's no allegiance. They have nothing to hold them to a team.
But I'm telling you, I can't stand it. These ownership groups and the general managers are playing it wrong with these players. They should say, you want to go play with LeBron? He's a horrible general manager. Go. Because you're not going to win with LeBron. You know why? You know who the best the guy up in Golden State. He's the guy that's put together that great team. Most of it's drafted. They picked up KD, but most of that team is drafted. So listen, you want to go play with LeBron? Go ahead. LeBron's not a good GM. We don't want you anyway. That's what these guys should be doing. If a player doesn't want to play there, they should kick him out. If a player comes out and says, you know what, I don't want to be here. They should kick him out. And that's what I'm saying right now is they're taking the wrong tact. The Lakers have offered a package. Take the package. Take it. And here's the worst part for New Orleans. If they send Kuzma, Ingram, and Lonzo Ball to New Orleans, none of those guys are going to stay there either. No one wants to play there. That's the problem that the NBA has again.
Well, you know what? And that's why, remember, I had said this probably a couple of months ago. I've been saying this actually for the last 5 or 6 months. Vegas is getting a basketball team. And it's going to be either the Clippers or the Pelicans.
Yeah.
And so watch and see. Maybe that Pelican team moves here, but I really believe it's going to be the Clippers.
I'd like the Clippers.
I think it's going to be the Clippers for a lot of reasons. I mean, this is Las Vegas, California, right?
I agree. It's the 81st suburb.
Right, and we're going to end up with the all-net arena will likely host that team. And I think that's what's going to happen.
It's not going to be shared with T-Mobile? It's going to be a separate? Wow.
Separate. I mean, why would Ballmer want to be a tenant in somebody else's building?
Well, that's what he doesn't like about being a
That's
Staples.
right. He's the number 3. He's the number 3 tenant there. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Right, and he's not going to go to Anaheim. That ship sailed many years ago. Vegas is the right place for him to go.
Here's the other thing is, if I was Dell Demps, the general manager of New Orleans, now Dell Demps, he grew up in the San Antonio Spurs organization. He knows what he's doing. He does. I mean, he definitely knows what he's doing. If I was him, I would have come out already in the paper and said, listen, Anthony Davis is now represented by LeBron's management team. Rich Paul is the owner of that group. It's called Clutch Sports. First of all, they don't even know how to spell. They spelled clutch with a K. and if I'm the general manager, I'd say, did Rich Paul and LeBron go to college? Where did they go to school?
You can't say that because now if it's printed, you're libeling them.
Well, did they go to college? Am I saying anything? Did they go? I'm asking a question.
Well,
did they go to college?
You're alienating a crowd. You can't do that one.
Well, you know what? It's time someone alienates the crowd.
And I'm glad you're actually standing up and saying that. It's not me.
It's time.
It's Tommy T saying this, not me for a change. Listen, give yourself a round of applause.
It's I don't need a round of applause.
Well, give it anyway, damn it.
It's time that someone stood up and said, okay, listen, I respect what you've done. You've built yourself quite an empire. And you don't do that by accident. You know what you're doing. but you come out with this organization called Clutch Sports, and you coolly call it Clutch with a K. Ooh, that's so cool. Let me misspell the word clutch. Why? I don't go. Where's the K from? I don't get it. Why call it Clutch with a K?
Right. Well, folks, I'll tell you what. If you want to chime in on this nonsense, give us a call right now at 702-221-7283. 702-221-7283. This goes for you too, Luther. 702-221-7283. Anybody outside the parking lot here at our studios, they can hear it. Give us a call.
Here's a short list.
Turn the phone so I can see it.
I'm looking at it. Here's a short list of Clutch clients. So obviously LeBron James, right, because it's part of his group. They also represent Tristan Thompson, who LeBron James got to Cleveland and who LeBron James made the Cleveland ownership group give this Thompson guy a $95 million contract when he wasn't worth it.
This is the meddling LeBron James.
LeBron set that one up.
Yeah.
Okay, they also represent John Wall, another great player for the Wizards, and they represent Eric Bledsoe, who's also a very good player for the Milwaukee Bucks, right? So that's what now they have Anthony Davis. So Davis is saying, I'd be happy to go to Milwaukee.
What, don't we have a clutch team? Why don't they just put all these clutch players on one team, and then they don't have to worry about being traded because they'll all be represented by the same people?
But they can't because the salary cap can't handle it. The salary cap can only handle 2 of clutch players at the same time. They can't handle 3.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's 6 guys making over $100 million. It's going to be a $600 million payroll. It's not going to work. That's why they can't
Tell them to go play for the Yankees. Your dad will vote for that.
Yeah, well, there's no salary cap. Well, they have the penalty.
They have the luxury tax.
Yeah, they have the tax at the end of the year.
Which is a pretty big number, but still.
Listen, Clutch Sports has done a good job. It's done a fantastic job, but I don't understand it. Why couldn't you spell it like Clutch, C-L-U-T-C-H? Why couldn't you spell? I don't get it. Okay, I guess it's got to be cute. So this is what's happening right now.
The K is for strikeout.
Clutch is
and I would love it if the K was
the
backwards.
Backwards.
Right. I want to see the punch out.
Well,
ring them up.
One thing I like about LeBron, one of the many things I actually like about him is he's a sports fan like you and I. He loves baseball. He loves football.
Well, he loves to medal and everything.
No, he's a fan. He's just a fan. He goes to the games. He watches the games. When Cleveland Indians were playing in those World Series games, he was right there as a fan. So I enjoy that about him. He loves sports, and he's like us, but he's controlling the game. If I was LeBron, I would try to not control the game. I would just try to play my game and just let my team do the job.
How about enjoying the moment and being a teammate? How do you think he would do under Belichick?
Well, he would have to
assume that he could play football, right?
Well, he could.
I'm just saying, but assume he could.
Guaranteed.
He'd be a big tight end, right?
Yeah, he would.
Or a wide out.
He could replace Gronk next year.
He could.
Yeah, he could. I mean, he's an amazing athlete. They talked about him coming back from that injury, and they say that he is absolutely the best conditioned athlete in the NBA still. He's just an amazing, he just takes care of himself.
Well, when you're paid that much money to play a game,
but not everyone,
you probably ought to take really good care of yourself anyway. Just saying.
Not everyone in the league takes good care of themselves.
A lot of them are fat and happy.
Kobe Bryant took amazing care of himself. LeBron takes great care of himself. A lot of the guys do. You could see you could see who's working on their physiques.
Well, look at Vince Carter, still doing the same thing,
and he's still a great player. I mean, yeah, he's
like 98, and he's still doing it.
Vince Carter took a lot of heat back in 2000, I think it was, when he went to North Carolina to graduate before Game 7. Mm-hmm. So he went back to North Carolina. He walked, right?
Right.
He graduated from.
That's a big deal.
It's a big deal. And then he came back in time to play Game 7, and they lost Game 7. Went down to the buzzer. Went down to the last second against Philadelphia. Philadelphia went on to play in the final, and Vince Carter took a lot of heat from that. Really. He went to graduate college. I mean, it wasn't like he was soliciting a prostitute the night before the big game, like Eugene Robinson, right? It wasn't like right. He went to graduate.
Right. Well, there's a lot of guys. It's funny, out of all the people that I know in sports, they really feel bad about not going through and graduating. So they go way out of their way. And I even personally served as an intern teacher, if you will, for one particular player to be I'm not going to talk about here, but the fact is it was such a big deal. They made hundreds of $1 billion, whatever. The fact is they want to graduate because it's really important. And this was maybe, we'll call it almost a generation ago, because nowadays you just want out right away and get their money. I get it. Yeah. But my point is, a lot of these guys, whether it's football, basketball, whatever, they want to graduate. It's a really big deal, and they put it above getting their rings.
Well, yeah, I mean, all of it matters. All of it ends up becoming your legacy.
That is, that's a big part of your legacy.
Because when you're raising children, not all of it. Children that play professional sports.
Right.
You want to teach your kids how to finish something. You want
to look. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Look, we had Brian Mitchell in here a couple of weeks ago, and Brian came in with his son. And his son is not a football player. You know, Brian, number 2 yardage gainer in NFL history.
Behind
Jerry Rice. Right. And so, you think I don't know that?
Come on. I knew you know. I wanted you to say.
Right. So here his son walks in. He's a great guy. His name's Will. And so the first question I'm thinking, all right, Will, so where are you playing? He goes, I'm not playing. He said, I'm sitting behind a desk. I'm running a company. I'm on a computer all day long. And that's what I do. And my dad supports it. And I got a good 2-minute as to why that Will is doing this. And a big round of applause for him, because he was really a guy that knew what he wanted to do, married, kids, the whole thing, doing the right thing. He and his father came out here for the Pacquiao fight. But the idea was, look, not everybody wants to go play football, and the education was more important to him than going out and playing professional sports.
Hey, Shaq went back to college. Shaq graduated. A lot of these guys go back and graduate their universities because they don't like having something not finished, unfinished.
That's unfinished business.
A lot of these guys like to complete what they started, which, I mean, I did it. It took me 7 years to get my 4-year degree in 2 states and 4 colleges. I had to finish. You know, it's like once you start it, you know, by the time I finished, I changed my career choices a couple times, but I still
everybody
finished.
Does. They change their major.
Yeah, I still finished because it's something that you want to complete.
Right.
You know, and
where'd you finish at?
I finished at Cal State Northridge in Los Angeles.
All right.
And I got a degree in business management.
All right, attaboy.
You know, and by the time I finished, I was already working in the entertainment business. I was already working in production, and that's what I wanted to do, something completely different. But I said, you know what, let me just finish these last 3 classes, because I'm not going to start in New York, in Albany, and finish in LA. I mean, and then just give up. Like, I wasn't going to do that.
Right.
You know, and of course, I think that's how a lot of people look at their education. You know, and LeBron never went to school. He came right into college, right in the NBA, just like Kobe, just like a lot of these guys. And listen, some of these guys don't need college. I mean, Kobe and LeBron, they're doing just fine. They can keep up. They can keep up with the educated. They do a very good job. But I wish he would spell a little better. That's all. I wish.
Right, clutch with a kick.
I wish he would spell a little better. That's all.
It's a clutch with the kicker. With the
With
cowboy.
the kicker. Yeah,
I got the cowboy on.
If we were fortunate enough to get LeBron on the show and we could interview him, I'd say, what's up with the K? Like, what does that mean? Oh, I just wanted to be different. Okay, well, okay, cool, whatever. You be different. I just wanted to be different too. I like to spell it right.
And you would probably be different for using proper grammar and spelling things correctly.
Yeah, when I text, I don't. That's not all like whatever. It's the abbreviated stuff.
I don't do the autocompletes. I mean, I'll send the emojis because it's easier that way.
My son saw your text coming in last week when I was in LA, and he's like, "What's up with your buddy sending all the emojis?" I said,
I'll send 10 texts in a row with just emojis.
He said he's 16 years old. He's like,
yes!
Like, because I get a stick of dynamite, I get a fist, I get a thumbs up, I
like the bomb and the explosion. That's one of my favorite ones.
If I say something bad, like you don't know what you're talking about, like, but you know,
it's just easier to have a bomb exploded.
The skull, I get the skull with the black eyes, thumbs up. What is a shaka?
Shaka, yeah.
Shaka.
Why not?
Yeah,
it's easier. Instead of me writing a whole sentence out, I can put a picture, and you already know what it means.
Brady will get in as the other half of the fix. Someone paid the official a little more than the original plan. Ha, come on, that's funny. And then I get the red face, whatever. Nut. I don't even know how to send an emoji. I don't know. It's like
it's just a picture, man. It's
yeah,
just a
I know.
Something
you hit the button,
stupid. That's all.
Button, whatever.
You know what else? You know who else has to hit a button is all those people listening right now. And folks, if you haven't signed up, at least subscribe, something, anything. At least subscribe on the YouTube channel. I'll give you a free pick if you subscribe on the YouTube channel. And let's face it, if you're picking above 90 points, I mean, that's nuts. 92 and change, whatever?
Yeah, you're 92.59%.
Whatever the number is, it's just stupid.
Listen, you probably, if you bet your house, you'd probably still be sleeping in your bed.
Right. Luther, that goes for you too. He lost one of his 2 houses, I guess.
Yeah, the Luth, yeah, who said bet your house? Luther's betting the house on something. I don't know if he really did, but
some people do that. Then they bet the farm also.
Yeah, so everyone's been asking me, Tommy, who do you like? Tommy, who do you like? I like the Patriots. Oh yeah, Oh yeah, like they
yeah, it's like why are you asking me if you're going to go the other direction anyway? Yeah. What the hell is the difference? Don't ask me if you're not interested in what I have to say. Whether you like it or not is not the option. The fact is, you asked us, we gave you the information, and if you don't like it, you don't have to bet it because you're not going to bet it anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I liked it. I don't give a damn what you like. It's what the money likes.
Listen.
And what I found out, hold on, Tommy. What I found out midweek. And it was a confirmation of what I saw early in the week. Remember the heavy money that went right at the very outset. It went from a picket to 3 right away. That told you everything you needed to know about this game. Don't outthink this and that. The line movement by 3 is insane. You don't see that.
But some people just like to bet the loser. They can't help it.
That's because they're losers. That's why that's all they do is lose.
Help it. Listen, when I used to gamble many 20, 25 years ago, and I used to gamble, I remember when the Redskins won the Super Bowl in 1990 against the Buffalo Bills. That year, I said I was going to pick the Redskins in every playoff game, and I talked my way out of it against Detroit, against Atlanta, and against
Detroit,
Buffalo.
What?
Yeah, I picked all 3. I just wanted to bet the loser.
And there's a lot of people in the casino that do that. You know that. Yeah. Anyway, folks, don't be like those guys. You go to place your bet down in Vegas and make sure you pick up one of the subscriptions because we because
pitchers.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons as to why baseball is easy. It doesn't matter right now, folks. We're out of time, and we'll see you next time right here on Place Your Bet. So long, everyone. All right, and there's the time. You guys are seeing it backwards, and we're out of time. So long, everyone.